Wilkins in the pistol, fakes the handoff to Benjamin. Long throw downfield, looking for Darby. Caught for a touchdown. Arizona State takes the lead.
ASU looking to finish their drive strong. Here's Wilkins from the shotgun. Finds a man in the middle. That's Kyle Williams. Open touchdown Devils. They extend their lead for Williams' first touchdown of the year.
Manny Wilkins hands the ball off to the right side. Eno Benjamin bounces off a tackle into the end zone. Touchdown ASU.
Sun Devil fans, take a deep breath, a sigh of relief perhaps. Scotty Gange, Blaine McCormick here with the house. You've escaped UCLA, the senior day jitters. It's a trap game, but Blaine, perhaps the toughest test of the season coming up for the Sun Devils.
Well, you know what they say, it never gets easier in November. And, you know, with going up to Oregon, that's going to be a difficult task, but plenty of highlights against the UCLA Bruins, so let's get right to them. Senior day, salute to service, and also parachuters coming into Sun Devil Stadium, but not the only touchdown fans would see early in the game. Here's Joshua Kelly for the Bruins, plundering into the end zone to put the Bruins up 7-3. But you know who else is getting in the spirit of salute to service? Sparky, loving those camo pants, really rocking them. Who else is rocking? Manny Wilkins. He fakes this handoff to Eno Benjamin and just dashes into the end zone to put the Sun Devils up 10-7. Wilkins would then throw a pick six on Arizona State's next drive, but then on the next one, slings it to Nick Ralston. Look at this. The Redshirt Jr. gets it and into the end zone for the touchdown, putting the Sun Devils ahead 17-14. And Joe Bruin flexing those muscles. Scotty, I definitely think he lifts on his off days. You know who else is tough? Merlin Robertson, but we're going to replay this for you right quick. Merlin goes in, and you see the crown of his helmet? He'll be called for targeting on that play. Misses the entire second half and also the first half against Oregon. UCLA would try to respond, but a tip pass, and Chase Lucas comes up with the interception, steps out of bounds for a 3-yard return, and capped off by Eno Benjamin, going into the end zone to put the Sun Devils ahead at this point. And the fans are pumped. No Shave November is treating you very well, sir. I love the beard. UCLA not done yet, as Spike goes to Caleb Wilson on the slant. 10-yard passing touchdown, now 24-21. The Sun Devils still lead it, and just edge of your seat action. Well, kinda. I think Joe is kind of relaxing from his lift. Here's a 42-yard field goal attempt from Brandon Reese, but it's no good, and UCLA is still fighting, but Manny Wilkins is locked in. 27-yard pass to Kyle Williams. That sets up a goal line stance, and just like Super Mario, it's Super Manny, wahoo, into the end zone and gets the touchdown. 31-21, Arizona State ahead, but UCLA still clawing. Here's another pass to who else? Caleb Wilson gets the touchdown, 31-28, and it's a one-score game. In the last drive for UCLA, they draw 2 false starts and 1 more pass to try and extend it, but it's swatted away, and the Sun Devils win it on senior day. Manny Wilkins very emotional after his last game at Sun Devil Stadium, but his team wins it 31-28. Well, you already saw the highlights against the Bruins, but now we want to dissect this game a little bit more. That's why we bring on our film doctor with Noah Lau. And you got a couple plays that are pertaining to Manny Wilkins, I heard.
Right, in honor of senior day on Sunday, let's dissect this from Manny. You can see he's in the shotgun right here, and Eno Benjamin is to his right, and he's going to run a read option. The big part of this play, Stephen Miller, the pulling guard, is going to secure his block on the UCLA outside linebacker, giving Wilkins a straightaway into the end zone. And by then, one of Wilkins' biggest strengths has always been his fast feet, and he's going to easily beat number 25 on UCLA for an easy score. And this second play right here, ASU in the strong eye. The big play right here is Ryan Jenkins' block, as well as number 87, Tommy Hudson. He's going to run an in route, and Jenkins is going to secure the block right there. And the UCLA safety is either going to have to stay with Ralston, or he's going to have to go with number 87, Tommy Hudson. And by that time, it's too late. Ralston easy for the easy 7 points.
So that's kind of a cool thing about football. There's so many intricacies, especially with the wide receivers, and it's going to have to really come in full force against the Oregon Ducks. What's your final score prediction?
My final score prediction, it's tough for ASU to go up there and beat Oregon in Eugene, 35-21 Oregon.
A cold, rainy day up in Eugene will probably be it, since they've had to face up there before. But thanks so much, Noah. We'll hear from other analysts about their score predictions later on in the show.
All right, a special segment onto the house for this week. Scotty Gange alongside Daz Tetalotausi, redshirt senior linebacker, and really just want to talk about senior day and what kind of experience it was to get a win in your last game at Sun Devil Stadium.
Man, it felt great to be able to get that big win on your last time playing in that stadium. It's crazy how like the last 5 years have gone by so fast, and to be able to finish it off in the stadium with a nice win against a good team was a really nice way to top it off.
I probably know the answer to this, but what's your favorite moment of Sun Devil Stadium? I want to say it's the hit against Oregon.
It's the hit against Oregon, man. Yeah, I know. It's a big. We're playing against Oregon again, so they bring it up, but just gotta stay focused and just be ready to make plays when plays need to be made. So
I'm gonna switch gears here. I love the visor, by the way, but on top of the visor is the hair. I think you probably have the best hair on the squad. Would you say the same?
Yeah. I mean, I'd say so. I'm sure people, maybe, I don't know, like Manny will hear people talk about hair and be like, Daz has the best hair, so y'all shouldn't even be talking about your hair. So, but yeah, it's funny.
It is funny. And then kind of switching gears again. I would probably say you have the best nickname on the team, Tasmanian Devil. Where did that start?
I mean, it really came about when after I committed, and then I was, it's the Tasmanian Devil, and it just fit in so well because of our mascot. So, but I don't really hear it said too often. I don't know, but
mostly on Twitter.
Yeah, mostly on Twitter though. Yeah.
You talk about when you committed. I want to say it was 7 years ago at this point.
Ago, yeah.
How special is it to be wrapping up your season with a chance to really, or wrapping off your career here with a chance to grab the Pac-12 South?
It's the things that we can do with this season. It could be really special. I've been on where we've won so many games and made it to 10-win seasons, and then we've had a season where we didn't go to a bowl game. So being able to have that position that we're in right now is very special, and as long as we stay locked in and doing what we have to do, then this season could be really special, especially to end it off for my last year here.
I know you've probably made some great connections while you've been here for so long. Who especially do you think you're going to really be connected with for the rest of your life following the end of the season?
I mean, shoot, the players that I've played with that have already left, and the players that are still here, I've all had a great bond with them. Great relationship with my coaches too. So, both academic support, and I'm very good with everybody here. So it's good to have that feeling of family, no matter what way I'll turn, after my career here is done.
You talk family. I know you have a young son, 2 years old now. How amazing is that for him to at least maybe remember watching you play ball here?
It's awesome. Like when I get dropped off in the morning, and then I'll be like, Dad's gonna go play football now, and he'll be like, oh, football, and then like he'll be so excited. But it's definitely cool to have for him to grow up and see me play the sport that I've been playing for so long. So yeah.
Future Sun Devil, perhaps?
Yeah, perhaps. It's up to him, but I'm sure it'll have a good sway in his mind that I came here. So.
All right, well, awesome, Dad. I really appreciate you joining us.
No problem.
Now, if I told you at this precise moment that Arizona State is 2 games away from making the Pac-12 championship, what would you say? Probably nothing. You'd probably give me a stiff arm like LaVisca here. Well, for the special Around the Pac-12 segment, we're going to really walk through what Arizona went from how they got here all the way to where they are right now. So let's start here. Colorado game is the undefeated Buffs. They're in control of the Pac-12 South, and they even have college football playoff implications. Utah's doing well. ASU is down below 1-2 in Pac-12 play. Let's go 2 weeks later. This is where we're going to bring our guy Blaine in. Blaine, ASU loses to Stanford at home on a Thursday night. Their season is fumbling.
Exactly, but the good thing is they have Utah and USC on their schedule. They look like pretty much just juggernauts at that point in the season, but they beat Utah. They defeat USC on the road, mind you, that a lot of teams don't do. So then we're going to transition again. Bye, Scotty. I'll see you in a bit. So we go over to this screen. This is where it narrows down right now for the Pac-12 championship. ASU, Arizona, and Utah. For ASU, it's simple. They just got to win out. For Arizona, they have to win out as well. But CU has to defeat Utah. And for Utah, we were just talking about them. They have to beat CU, and then ASU has to lose to either Arizona or Oregon. It's all kind of a miscombobulation, but the algorithms kind of make sense. For ASU fans, Win and go home, baby. That's what you got to figure out. So now we're going to go right back to the desk. And, well, Scotty, this is an interesting pros and cons segment because there's a lot of positive and negatives for this season. And I think there's a lot to talk about, especially with the targeting call that was called against Merlin Robertson.
You hit it on the head right there. That's my first talking point. It is the Merlin Robertson, the first con of the day. I mean, he's out for the first half of the ball game, and let's be real. He's been the anchor of this Arizona State defense all year long. Missing him for the entire game for a half is really, really rough. So that's the first con of the day, and it's probably the biggest con of the season without number 8 on the field for the Devils.
Here's the big positive, though, and I mentioned it earlier. Arizona State controls their own destiny. They are ready for this. They're just thundering ahead. Even though they don't have Merlin, they still have a lot of other true freshman backs that can really defend that forefront and defend it well, mind you. Tyler Johnson and also Darian Butler have really stepped up. And I think for the Arizona State defense, even though they're without Merlin for a little bit, these guys are going to step up.
You're right. Those guys are hot. The entire Sun Devil defense is hot. But I'll tell you what, Blaine. It's cold in Eugene. It is really cold in Eugene. They say it never rains in Autzen Stadium. I'll tell you what, it rains all the time in Autzen Stadium. Bring your rain jacket. The Sun Devils, it's hard to play football in the cold. Herm said he didn't really care about it, but it really could slow him down.
Yeah, Herm doesn't really care about the weather, but something that you do care about is security.
Oh,
Brian Johnson, the head groundskeeper.
The MVP.
The head groundskeeper for Arizona State. There was a streaker, not really a streaker, but just somebody that ran onto the field trying to get their 15 minutes of fame or whatever, mind you. Brian Johnson just led the guy off the field. We have a posted tweet about this. Look at this visual. Just Johnson leading him off of the field saying, no, you got to go out. You got to go out.
Oh, yeah. My favorite is the shove. When he threw him out of the stadium. He didn't just push him. He chucked him. Yep. And the best part about that is there was a minute left in the game. He saved UCLA a timeout, or instead of taking a timeout. So it was one of the plays of the game. And my final con, it's that this is an Oregon squad that's hungry. Brian Johnson was hungry, but this Oregon team is hungry. They're coming off some tough losses, but they have a chance to save their season. And to save that season, they got to start in beating ASU at home. They can bring back all the Duck fans, and so they're a hungry squad, and that's going to be tough for ASU. On the road is tough enough, but especially playing these Ducks that are really, really going to want it. It's going to be a big struggle for them.
Here's the big thing, though. The Devils are hot at this point in the season, especially with Eno Benjamin coming off another 180-yard rushing game. He now ranks 3rd in the NCAA in rushing yards. 1st in the Pac-12, mind you, and also N'Keal Harry being named to the award watch list. And just the talk about him is whether he's going to stay at ASU or go into the draft. He's still got 2 games left as a Sun Devil in the regular season, and there's a lot to look forward to with this guy. But that'll finish it up for pros and cons, and senior day is all about the emotions. Athletes knowing that this one game is their final on their home turf. But Nick Ralston made the most out of it, the redshirt junior, with a 5-yard touchdown reception, and Braden Bell painted the picture so well on this week's Blaze Radio Call of the Week.
2nd and goal from the 5, 1:05 to go until halftime. Pistol formation. Benjamin behind Wilkins. Manny will throw. It's an out and a touchdown. Nick Ralston with the touchdown reception. The fullback who started the year on defense gets in. It's a touchdown for Arizona State, and the Devils regain the lead here in Tempe.
Don't fret, though, this isn't Ralston's last game as a Sun Devil. Killian McClatchy and Harley Yearout will bring you the call from Autzen Stadium, and kickoff is scheduled for 8:30 Arizona time. And boys, well, you might need to bundle up for that one. It's going to be cold up in Oregon. Now we transition back to this 2-shot, and boy, this is my favorite segment. I think it's both of ours.
It is the best segment. Out of all of House of Sparky, in entirety, this is the best segment. This is the moment you watch, folks.
This is the moment you watch. It's Pick Your Poster, and we're going to transition into our first one. And boy, these fans were really creative. Look at this. Light them up, Sun Devils. It's Sparky with the pitchfork lighting up a teddy bear. I assume that's a Bruin.
He's crying, Blaine.
He is crying. Look at those teardrops. This is just so interesting because this is a good-looking Sparky, too. I've seen some really bad-drawn Sparkies, but this one definitely on top of the list. And boy, this is funny, right?
It is funny, Blaine. I'll tell you what. I think it's the Herberger School of Design. Herberger shows out on game days. Those guys, they know it's their time to shine. People are going to be looking for their posters. That's a master student work right there, Blaine. But I'll tell you what, that's on fire right there, the teddy bear. I'll tell you somebody who wasn't really on fire, hasn't been on fire in his life. Look at this guy. Ooh. It's not a poster unless you kind of count the back as a poster, but he's single. He wrote it on his back. I don't know if it's a cry for help maybe, or if maybe he's just thinking it's funny, but I'll tell you what, I thought of this like 5 minutes ago when you were talking about the ASU's Pac-12 South predictions.
Okay.
It's not House of Sparky here, folks. This is House of Single. Look at him. We're switching from House of Sparky. House of Spooky is far gone. It's House of Single, Blaine.
Boy, Tinder has really made some innovations with this guy, man. I mean,
#1.
I mean, I'll give it to him. That's risky. Painting "I'm single" on your back and showing it out for everybody. I mean, I hope he got a number at least or something. I feel for you, guy.
Blaine, I'll tell you what, a great first way to go on a date. You go bowling. And the Devils, they're going bowling. That's why we're going to bring in our guy, Jordan Palacio, to tell us what might happen for ASU when they go bowling.
Well, as I'm sure you've heard by now, the Sun Devils are going bowling in their first year under Herm Edwards. Not bad for a team picked to finish last in the division. Now, with only 2 games left, there's been nonstop talk about where ASU will be playing their postseason game. So right now, let's take a look at what the media is saying, and the answer to this question, well, it seems to be many platforms are split right down the middle when it comes to choosing a bowl game for the Devils. The more popular choice seems to be the newly renamed Cheez-Its Bowl here in Phoenix, which is reserved for the 7th overall team in the Pac-12. The other bowl game in question is the Hyundai Sun Bowl in El Paso, Texas. And if you'll remember, the Devils lost to NC State last year in the Sun Bowl 52-31. That game is reserved for the team finishing 5th overall in the conference. Now, contrary to popular belief, there is one publication that has gone bold. And while fortune favors the bold, Sports Illustrated projects the Sun Devils to make the Alamo Bowl. Now, that game is safe for the Pac-12 runner-up. So getting to that game means Arizona State wins the South, and the way this team has played over the past few weeks, I think it's hard to disagree. Even with only 2 weeks remaining, so little is known about this team's future. The only thing guaranteed is watching Herm Edwards' squad leave it all on the grass for the next 2 games. And that being said, Blaine, we'll send it back now to you.
All right, thanks so much, Jordan. So the good news, Arizona State is going to a bowl game. We'll just have to see where they have to end up, whether it's Las Vegas or maybe here in Phoenix. But we want to continue the show and break down the Oregon Ducks. That's why we bring on Austin Burnett to dissect this Oregon defense and also the offense. So let's see what you got. What are the 2 plays that really stood out to you during the Oregon-Utah matchup?
Yeah, Jason Shelley, the quarterback for Utah. He's a really agile quarterback. He makes plays outside of the pocket. We're going to see it here on these highlights. Shelley, you see him in the shotgun. He fakes it to the running back, and you see he freezes all these linebackers. The defensive line doesn't know where the ball's going. He finds a nice cutback lane and pounds it right into the end zone. You're going to see more of his mobility here. Jason Shelley can't find anyone originally. Keep an eye on that defender right there. He's going to fall down. These linebackers, they're going to lose sight of the tight end, Cole Fotheringham. Shelley does a fantastic job of rolling outside the pocket, finds Fotheringham for a very solid 40-yard gain on the play. And Utah, they really exploited Oregon's defense on that play.
So it seems as though when the quarterback is being able to be mobile and Oregon coming in, that's where they kind of get into trouble. What does Manny Wilkins need to do in order to really escape pressure for this upcoming matchup?
Yeah, I think you just mentioned it. Manny Wilkins, he's going to have to make plays outside the pocket. He's going to have to be agile, like I said. And this ASU defense, if they get Eno Benjamin going, if they get N'Keal Harry going, if they get Kyle Williams, Ryan Jenkins, if they get everybody going, they're going to have a very solid chance to win this game. But it's all going to be coming down to Manny Wilkins making plays both in and outside the pocket.
All right, well, thanks so much, Austin. We'll have to see how ASU does up in Oregon. But also, there's one condition about N'Keal Harry. Will he stay or will he go? Scotty has your answer.
Blaine, unfortunately, I don't have the answer you're quite looking for, but luckily our guy Zach Keenan does. Zach Keenan in studio, CAC Zenon on Twitter. A heck of a Twitter name, but let's just jump right into it. It's the big question, really, of the season. Is N'Keal Harry staying or is he going?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, should he stay or should he go? That's the age-old question.
Great song.
He's the hometown kid, hometown hero, home ground guy from Chandler High. I mean, does he want to maintain this legacy or does he want to go straight to the league next year? By staying another year in the Pac-12, he risks injury and missing out on millions of dollars. Now, at the same time, if he does stay another year at ASU, then he loses that brother connection he had with Manny Wilkins. He has to start over from day one with a totally different quarterback. Now, if we do entertain this thought,
Yeah,
where
for
would
means of the segment, where, I mean, do you think that he would go best? Where does he fit best? Suppose, yes, he leaves after the last game of the season and goes to the NFL.
Well, he's actually really lucky in that there's a slew of NFL teams in the draft this year that really need wide receivers. The Cardinals, Jets, Bills, Jags, Colts, Ravens, Browns. There are so many NFL teams that require wide receivers, so N'Keal Harry is definitely lucky in that aspect. I mean, if he goes to some of these teams, he has the opportunity to grow along some young quarterbacks and really build franchises in the future, and I think that's awesome for N'Keal. Now, we've narrowed it down to just a couple. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars are one where N'Keal could definitely head to. I mean, 2 of Blake Bortles' top 5 targets lead the league in drops right now, so that definitely means that N'Keal could have WR1 potential from the get-go in the league, and that's something that a lot of people can't say about certain recruits.
He's got great hands.
He definitely does, those giant, strong hands. Well, now the 3 and 6 Jags are projected by ESPN to have that 11th pick in the draft, which is around where most experts would say N'Keal Harry is going to end up falling. Another one, Josh Allen and the Bills. They're projected to have the 9th pick in the draft, which is a little high, but I think that's somewhere where he could end up. Josh Allen has been disregarded by many. His passer ability is definitely overshadowed by the lack of depth in his receiving corps, and I think N'Keal Harry could definitely help out in that one. And for the rest of this, we'll just have to see how the rest of the NFL season unfolds. But for N'Keal Harry, it's a simple choice. Does he want to maintain his legacy as a hometown, homegrown hero from Chandler High, or does he want to go to the league and start making the big bucks, really advance his career?
Yeah, you talk about maintaining a legacy. I think he's already had that legacy in his 3 years here. It's really been an impressive Sun Devil so far.
Definitely. I couldn't agree more with that.
All right, well, Zach, thanks for coming in and talking some N'Keal Harry. And, of course, as you said, it's time is going to tell, and you also touched on it earlier, Manny Wilkins, that brotherhood connection. Well, our guy Blaine doesn't have the feel-good story of the week. He's got the feel-good story of the year. Let's talk some Manny, Blaine.
Life can take you so many different ways, but you can take God's plan and just stay the course. Good things happen. This is what quarterback Manny Wilkins said, holding in tears in the post-game press conference after last weekend's game. And he couldn't have said it any better. He trotted out of Tillman Tunnel in tears when he was honored for Senior Day, and I don't blame him. Wilkins' journey to Arizona State has been a battle that only he could bear. Wilkins grew up seeing people rob his own house right in front of him, and his father was frozen to death in snow after a drug overdose. Wilkins moved around from California to Las Vegas, Minnesota, Texas, Colorado, and even sleeping on concrete floors, and even admitted he was a troubled kid, getting into fights and into trouble all the time as a youngster. But he took all that anger and applied that to football, increasing his skills as a quarterback, and came to Arizona State. Wilkins now is currently tied for 6th at ASU for passing touchdowns, has thrown 8,000 career passing yards and over that mark, and sits 4th in school history for passing yards. Oh, and he has only thrown 21 interceptions in the 37 games he's started. Pretty good numbers. He's also battled leg injuries and seeing derogatory comments about him after a game on Twitter and other social media. For those of you behind the screen that criticize him, shut up. Look at what he's done for the program and the amount of passion this man has. He's had 4 offensive coordinators in his tenure at ASU and has digested playbook after playbook. The tears from Wilkins are understandable, and every fan should appreciate the passion he has for this team. That's why Manny Wilkins embodies the meaning of our feel-good story of the week.
Time for the Pac-12 top plays of the week. Let's head to Utah. This is Armand Shine in for Zach Moss. The pinball right there, bouncing off defenders. He collected 174 yards on the ground on the day to help Utah get a huge victory over Oregon. Look at that. Blaine, I'm going to say it because I have to. He shined on Saturday.
And I think he broke Newton's law in the process as well. Here's Colby Parkinson getting a reception and getting a touchdown, but he did this 4 times against Oregon State. Finished the game with 4 touchdowns, 166 yards off of only 6 receptions, Scotty. That is an all-star for the Cardinal as they beat Oregon State 48-17, and quite the day for Mr. Parkinson.
6 catches, 4 touchdowns. That's a pretty good day at the office for him. But hey, let's go to the Pac-12 player of the year. That's Gardner Minshew. He's got an awesome mustache, but he's also got a great set of legs. I count 3 jukes, Blaine, and a pretty cool hop over the pylon just into the end zone. Gardner Minshew, one more time. Get the man out of his way. I'll tell you what, Wazoo is rolling. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm not surprised to see Gardner Minshew scoring November touchdowns, Blaine.
Yep.
It's no shave November. He's got the best mustache in the conference.
Oh my gosh, excellent mustache. I can't personally grow a beard because of my genetics. What about you?
Doesn't look good.
Doesn't look good? It's okay. I think our mothers might like us a little more clean shaven. But that'll do it for this slick show of the house here on houseofsparky.com. Sorry for the bad pun. For our producer, Noah Lau, he's Scotty Gange. I'm Blaine McCormick. Sun Devils flying up to Eugene to take on the Ducks. We'll see you next week.